Hello there! Now, I know it's been a while, but not as long as last time, right? That's progress. Speaking of progress, it's been a bit of a mixed bag with the coronavirus pandemic recently, right? Well, since the holiday cheer is kicking in, I thought I'd focus on a positive and exciting development in the fight against this virus. And you know what? All this excitement makes me just want to break out into song. I don't want a lot for Christmas, there is just one thing I need. All I want for Christmas is a cure. What's that? Oh, a vaccine is rolling out already? And there's already a pandemic-themed All I Want for Christmas is You parody? Well, this is awkward. Well, moving on then. Originally, I was planning to talk about how fast Santa Claus would have to go to deliver all those presents in one night, but there's already quite a few videos on that, and math isn't really my thing. Since I'm studying biology, I could talk about Santa's reindeer, because let's be honest, they're probably taking steroids or are genetically engineered or something like that. And speaking of performance enhancement, I think Santa's taking a little something since he's able to keep going all night long. Speaking of performance enhancement, you probably heard of Pfizer and their COVID vaccine. Their claim to fame was getting something to go up as long as needed, but now they want something to go down. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about how the Pfizer and BioNTech SE vaccine, along with the Moderna vaccine, differ from previous vaccines. The classic vaccines, such as the ones for shingles and measles, involve provoking an immune response by using a weakened or lifeless version of the virus. This immune response results in the production of the biological resources needed for the body to overcome the actual live virus. What makes the coronavirus vaccines different is that they use messenger ribonucleic acid, or mRNA. The vaccine basically uses the mRNA as a blueprint of sorts in order to teach the cells how to fight the coronavirus. Now for some quick review. The four building blocks of life are carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA, and proteins such as antibodies. Now, DNA is the original schematics or genetic code of who we are, which is used to make RNA, and with messenger RNA acting as an instruction guide of sorts, RNA basically works to build proteins, and proteins perform a variety of functions and make up life on Earth. You know, the mechanism actually kind of reminds me of Star Wars. In the movies, the Rebel Alliance uses the Death Star plans to figure out how to destroy it. Well, the mRNA-based vaccines actually work in a similar way. Instead of the full Death Star plans, our cells are going to be able to use the plans to the Death Star's super laser to figure out how to defeat it. In SARS-CoV-2, the super laser is the spike proteins which the virus uses to enter host cells and begin infection. Using the mRNA from the vaccine, our cells are going to make their own spike proteins, which will trigger an immune response that will result in the production of antibodies, which are proteins that search and destroy invading objects, such as the coronavirus. And funnily enough, the antibodies are actually kind of shaped like Y-wings. Having been produced by the immune system, the antibodies will do the thing and search for and destroy the virus. Now, I'm sure the explosion won't be as large, but I'm sure there'll be victory medals and a celebration nonetheless. If you want more information or clarification, I highly recommend checking out A New Hope on Disney+. I kinda wish this was an ad, but it's not. Oh, and obviously, you can do your own outside research into the virus and the vaccine. Somewhere you could start is checking my sources in the description down below, and see where you can go from there. Oh, and I wish I didn't have to say this, but I'll say it anyway. No, Star Wars definitely did not predict the pandemic. This is just a fun analogy I wanted to use, so I could geek out and teach at the same time. So, the scientific community knows that there are concerns regarding the safety of a vaccine that was produced in literally record time, less than 1 year compared to the over 10 years it takes for conventional vaccines to be created. So the big question is, why are mRNA vaccines making their debut as the coronavirus vaccines? Well, research in recent years has shown that mRNA vaccines can actually produce a stronger immune response than traditional vaccines, and they can be produced in much faster time compared to those vaccines. Not only that, but the leading vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna's, are over 90% effective. But there are still other concerns, such as whether or not people who get intense allergic reactions will be able to safely take the vaccine. These questions will be better answered in the next few months as research continues. The bottom line is, there's a bit of a trade-off here, but this is the best option we have right now. To hammer in the Star Wars analogy one more time, even though soon enough we'll be winning the fight against the current threat, the galaxy is still going to need saving. Now, I talked about this a bit in the last video, and I plan to talk about it more in a future video, so I'll keep this brief. Antibiotic resistance is a problem that we need to keep our eyes on, or it could become like the Yuuzhan bomb. By this I mean, it could arguably become an even bigger threat than this current pandemic, as bacterial superbugs rise that won't go down in the face of conventional treatments, like antibiotics. Or we could even have a Rise of Skywalker situation and have an unwanted sequel of the coronavirus pull a somehow Palpatine has returned, and come back bigger and badder than before. Now, I know all of this might sound scary, but to paraphrase Walt Disney, now's the time to stop talking and start doing. I know this year's been difficult in a multitude of ways for many of us, but like the rebellion and the resistance, we can't lose hope. I believe in us. Now, let's build a brighter future together. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do what you gotta do. And remember, stay true to your heart, stay safe, and stay smart. This is Abiotic Abe, signing off. Happy holidays!